I'm John Thompson from the Catskill Regional Invasive Species Partnership, and we're here today to remove some invasive species here at the Callicoon Riverside Park.
Ryan Scarterfield, the County Parks and Rec Director. We're here to start to work down here at the Callicoon Park. We're just in the development stages of the park, and this is going to be one of our first steps, is working on the invasive species.
All right, and today is the first of 4 Saturdays, right?
Right, we'll have 4 work days out here, and we'll be removing invasive species on each of those work days.
Okay.
So you can find information on our website. That's catskillinvasives.org. So mostly we'll be digging up Japanese barberry and removing it and being careful. If you don't have gloves, we have gloves here. It's good to wear gloves when you're working with Japanese barberry, multiflora rose, and other things that have thorns on them. It's also good to have gloves working around stinging nettle, which there's some out here. There might be some poison ivy. I didn't see any the other day, but it's good to wear gloves just to protect yourself in that way. So we got a couple tools here that we're going to be working with. This we call a drain spade. It's really good for digging deep holes without moving too much dirt on the side, versus like we just call this like a regular spade. These are called loppers, and we'll use those to cut the stems. When you're working on Japanese barberry, a lot of times, and multiflora rose, a lot of times what you might want to do is kind of cut your way into the base and then dig it out, so that you're not trying to dig out the base and getting hit in the face with these thorns. This is Japanese knotweed. I'm sure all of you are really familiar with it. It's a species that has been around for a long period of time, especially here in the Delaware. There's huge populations of it. There's a huge population of it here in the Callicoon Riverside Park. It reproduces from small fragments, so going in and like cutting it up with a machete might not be a good idea, because you're introducing all of these fragments that could fall into the soil and help it to spread. It really spreads well during flood events, where you'll have a flood that will break up some of these stems, wash them downstream, spread them out over the floodplain, and you get all these little plants that are popping up. This is Japanese barberry. It has these little kind of ovate shaped leaves. It has thorns on it. If you expose the roots, the stem doesn't show up quite as good, but it has like kind of a yellow turmeric color to it that you'll see in the roots when you start digging it out. So it's easy to differentiate the roots from this species versus the native species that might be growing around it. I would wear gloves or be careful.